Hey there, Taurus, it's Keaghan. I hope that you guys have been doing well. Welcome to your latest reading with me. I already have some cards down here on the table that I use to just tap into your energy. We're going to start the reading by looking at those cards, walking through what I've already been taking a look at and peeking into, and then we'll do some tarot and pull an oracle card at the end to wrap things up. I'm going to go ahead and just switch you guys over to the overhead view so you can see what I'm looking at. Let me do that really quickly here. So these are the cards that I have down. I do just want to acknowledge for you guys that today's April 1st when I'm doing this reading, and that marks my 2-year anniversary here on YouTube, and you guys are the first reading that I'm doing. I had to take a break with the readings because I got my first vaccination shot, and so I needed a couple of days off after that. And so you guys are the first reading of my 2nd year, moving in my 3rd year actually, wow, on YouTube. So I just want to acknowledge that energetically as a placeholder for me. And I hope that you'll enjoy this reading. Okay, so the first card coming out for you guys from the Osho Zen Tarot deck, which is what I'm using just to tap into your energy, you got the Past Lives card. And there are a couple of things that I want to say about this card. What I feel mostly in terms of the energy is really that you're starting to become aware of cycles, patterns, and this could be manifesting in lots of different ways. I'll talk about a few of them, and then I'll talk about one specific way that really came through really powerfully, energetically for me as I was just trying to tune into you guys. So this could be a situation where you're just becoming aware of the fact that you've been here before. You could just be having that awareness coming to you. For others of you, you could have been involved in a relationship in which you realize that you've had a connection with that person before in a past life, and that there were things that you were kind of working out with that person, or there was some sort of an agreement that you made with this person to reconnect in this life and to either share that life happily or to utilize your time together to really work through some stuff. The thing that came through for me really intensely, and so I want to acknowledge that, is I think for a lot of you, actually, I'm not even going to say it's a small group because of how intense this came through, but for a lot of you, this is really about generational trauma, and understanding that there's what was shown to me is actually like a soul group, a soul tribe, manifesting repeatedly through many lifetimes as a family unit, and the purpose of that is to really try to rid the bloodline of a lot of destructive behavior, a lot of just low vibrational stuff. And it's interesting what was shown, because it's almost like in this family, as this is worked out from one generation to the next, and I do feel like it's something that has been making progress. I just want to acknowledge that. For the people that's resonating with, I just want to say, what I'm seeing is from each generation, right? So we'll start with generation 1, which was very, very toxic, very abusive, very intensely abusive. And then the next time the generation, manifested together, it's almost like the roles of that abuse, they switched. Okay, so whoever was the abuser in that family unit 1 became the abused. And like I said, it's like the intensity of it went down. So the abuse wasn't as intense as it was, but the roles switched. And so the person who was inflicting the abuse previously then became the person who was abused. And through that process, the next generation, again, the intensity was dialed down. And this has been something that's been repeating. And you, the person listening to me, have it within you, have the capacity within you to kind of be the generation that ends this. And I have to be honest with you, for some of you, you are dealing with being the abused person, but for others of you who are listening to me, you are coming to an awareness that you yourself have been abusive. Right? So it's a mixed group of you that I'm reading. And, I think obviously for the people who are realizing, having that self-awareness about their own behaviors, it might be a little bit harder for you to kind of speak up in the comments and to admit that. But I do sense you, and I just want to say, even if you are the person who maybe has not been, the best and has been exhibiting some of those more toxic, low vibration, abusive behaviors, there is still hope for you to turn that around, to be able to end this. And it feels like this soul group, the purpose really was to just come in and to try to evolve the energy within this particular soul group. And I don't want to get too bogged down in that theory. That might be a video that I'm going to do on the channel, just talking about like soul tribes and soul groups and how they do tend to manifest together for certain purposes. But really, this feels like the goal was to try to, within this bloodline, eliminate some of these behaviors. And anytime that happens, anytime that we break those generational patterns and those cycles that are, even beyond our lifetime, there are multiple lifetimes of repeating patterns. When we do get to the point where we end those and the next generation manifests without that being something that they are contributing to the collective, then we've done something to really help the collective energy be boosted. Okay, so I just want to acknowledge that. It doesn't have to be that for you, but that came through so intensely for me. Like I said, it might make more sense to you just in terms of realizing there's a person who's come in that you've had the connection with before, but I had to acknowledge that because it came through so loudly when I was just kind of sitting with these cards and thinking about, how to best interpret them. Now, what I've done here is this was a main energy coming through. I then went to go down a little bit and take a look and see, give me a little bit more insight, clarify this energy. So the cards that came out for that were adventure and intensity. And what's interesting about these two cards is this feels to me like being in a situation where even though this is really intense work, even though this is really intense energy that you're dealing with, you're doing it with this openness and this willingness, and there's a certain amount of like you're being receptive to it. It's not anything that you're fighting. It's not anything that you're trying to push away. It's something that you are actually embracing fully. And what that's allowing you to do is, because you're not trying to fight it, right? You're not exerting any energy whatsoever to fight this. You're not trying to deny it. You're not trying to like sugarcoat it. You're not, like, whatever the situation is for you, you're 100% embracing it as it is with the intensity, right? So the intensity is coming in with you and you're just receiving it. You're saying, okay, what do I need to do? How do I need to process this? What do I need to do to try to alter this energy? What can I do to raise it? How can I heal? And the flow between these two cards is really interesting to me, because what it's allowing you to do is you're not wasting any of your energy with fighting. And so this feels like something that's actually going pretty quickly for you, because you're accepting it. You're embracing it, you're accepting it, and you're asking for support in it. This reading may well be full of things that are confirmation for you. What's interesting too, what I just pay attention to the illustrations on the cards. I'm hoping that you can see everything. They want me to show you this specifically, which I'll talk about. I don't know if dolphins are important to someone who's listening, but they do want you to pay close attention to the illustrations of the cards that you'll see, because there might be messages coming through in the images here. But I love this. I love this energy because, again, when we resist things, when we fight against them, when we try to deny them, when we try to say they're not true, when we try to avoid them, we're using so much of our potential energy to fight rather than using that energy to actually do the work that we need to do and to elicit the changes that we need to do. So congratulations on that. Now, going a little bit deeper with the energy, this feels to me like kind of where you're heading, where you're going. I don't think you're quite there yet because, again, current energy for you feels very much like the awareness of things and starting to embrace it and do the work. But eventually you have moment to moment coming out here with harmony. And this is a really awesome place to be. And that's why I said earlier, there's potential here for you to really do a lot of work. Now, if you're someone, again, like, if that family, if that generational thing didn't make sense to you, if you didn't have abuse or trauma in your family, then however this is resonating with you, just take the messages as they come. But this puts you into a situation in which you're really able to understand the joy of being present, of being in your body, in yourself, rooted in the present moment, not fixated on the past, not burdened by the past, not worrying about the past, not being too consumed by the future. Just being in a place where you are existing within yourself and understanding that there's beauty in being able to be present in your life, right? And that leads you to a place where you really get a lot of just big shifts. You know, that this harmony card is equal to like the 10 of Cups in a standard tarot card, in a standard tarot deck, right? So you just end up in this place where the work that you put in and the efforts that you put in and the Your willingness to embrace this and not run from it is so deeply rewarded. And so I just want to encourage you to keep going, to just not fight, not put up resistance, to embrace things as they come to you. Ask for support, because there's so much support that I can feel around you. Because this, again, like I have to say this, right? Because even if it's just like an individual person, this feels like something that's been going on for a very long time. Because when I tune into this, I just feel the support of like generation after generation after generation, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, chipping away at this thing that was trying to be figured out, this thing that was trying to be healed, this energy that was trying to be like lifted, right? This attempt to really raise up the energy. There's so much work that's been put into this. That means there's so much work, and there's so much energy, and there's so much momentum behind wrapping it up. And this does feel like it's a place, especially ending with this 10, where this is something that's going to be wrapped up. It's something that's going to be healed, something that's going to be able to be closed and not carried forward into the next life. Okay. Now the Oracle card that came out with this, and this, again, this is just kind of like giving me some insight here, but it says, the moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. And so if you do find that you're not quite sure what to do, where to go, what your next best move is in this, trying to realign yourself to love is really key here. And again, I'm not sensing you having any kind of resistance to that. I really do feel like you've figured out finally that the way to heal, the way to be able to move on from things, the way to be able to like release burdens, to really let things go, is to figure out how you can realign yourself towards love, right? Whether that's forgiving another person, whether that's forgiving yourself, learning to love yourself, learning to understand and see that even the people in our lives who do really horrible, bad things, if we can take away whatever like harshness and hardness we have around that person, and it doesn't even mean that we have to forgive them or excuse what they did, but we can just look at them and say, this is a person who made bad choices, who was not willing to embrace the way that I'm willing to embrace things. They weren't willing to do the work that they were willing to do, and they're going to have to repeat this. And I'm not going to allow my energy to be tainted by theirs, because I don't want to have to repeat this. I don't want to have to go through this again. So I'm going to do what I need to do to remove myself from the situation. But I also feel like beyond that, and I just have to say this one more time, beyond clearing your own energy, you have the potential to clear generational, lifetime after lifetime repeated energy here. Okay, so I know that sounds pretty heavy, but again, there's lots of support here in making sure that that's something that you can do. Okay, so I'm just going to move these cards off to the side. I'm going to stick this card back into this deck just in case it wants to come back out. I'll shuffle that before pulling your final advice or guidance card. This deck is the Mystic Monday Tarot deck, in case you're interested in that. I did pre-shuffle this a little bit before sitting down to record. I just want to mix the cards up a little bit here, and then we'll do some shuffling. We're going to pull 5 cards from this deck. And then again, we'll pull one final Oracle card at the end as advice or guidance for you. So I just want to do a couple of cuts here. Do one more. And we'll do one final shuffle. I'm going to go right off the top of the deck. Ten of Swords coming out here. It's upright. That's followed by the 6 of Wands upright. You have the 5 of Wands, which is upright. The Queen of Swords upright. And then the 5 of Pentacles, which is also upright. So, interesting spread of energy here. So let's talk about this. We'll start here with the 10 of Swords, because what's interesting about this 10 of Swords is, again, I feel like you're in a place right now where you're just starting to have that awareness and to start having that energy of leading you to understand things. You know, the 10 of Swords, when it is upright, is really about kind of being in the process of the pain really being inflicted upon you. When this card reverses, that's where it's really about being in a place of starting to move on or have some sort of healing or conclusion to the process. So again, you know, don't give up. If it's something that's very painful, you can't ignore that pain. You have to kind of feel your way through it, allow yourself to get through to the other side of it. But as soon as you do, right, Six of Wands shows up. As soon as you deal with this pain, as soon as you get through the process and start to heal from it, there's so much support that comes through. And I think that the support comes through basically, again, it feels very intense to me because there's been so much work that's already been done on this. They're really wanting to acknowledge that. And again, like, you could have been doing work for a lot of your life, you personally, but just know there's been so much work before you even incarnated in this life. There's been so much work within this particular group of souls to try to navigate this thing. And yeah, I'm going to talk, I said earlier I wasn't going to go off topic, but I feel like I need to acknowledge this. So, you know, if we're trying to be in a situation, right, Five of Wands is what I'm kind of talking about. So Six of Wands, Five of Wands. It almost seems like there's a dip in energy, right? But this is really what needs to still be worked out here is what they're acknowledging. So the Five of Wands represents that energy where we're just dealing with lots of conflict, lots of challenges, lots of obstacles. We're dealing with, you know, potential of like rivals or like competition of some sort, right? And what this feels like to me is almost like the last little hinge point here in terms of wrapping this up and being able to really clear it completely is to deal with any of those things that are kind of like ego driven. Things like jealousy, things like envy, things like trust issues, that all those things are coming forward in terms of like, those are the things that are still holding you back. And it's like, those are the last little things that need to be processed and dealt with before this energy, I'll just say this energy, can really be cleared out. How do you do that? Queen of Swords showing up, right? This is about being really honest. This is about knowing what your boundaries are, really demanding that people respect those boundaries. The other thing with the Queen of Swords that I think sometimes readers don't mention is the Queen of Swords is very curious and very willing to embrace new information and to learn and to analyze and evaluate things that are being presented. And I think that's really kind of key here, is for you to be really confident and really certain in your ability to learn and grow and evolve and understand things in a different way. And as information is presented to you, or as opportunities present themselves to try to think about things differently, or if a new piece of information is presented to you, be willing to embrace that and to don't just blindly accept it, but be willing to embrace it and to add it into the information that you're weighing and trying to understand this. Now, this is interesting to me. The Five of Pentacles coming out here at the end, I feel like maybe the advice or guidance card is going to give a little bit more information about this when we pull that. But what I feel mostly from this Five of Coins is it's almost like there are a couple of things. So one is that one of the things that kind of ends through this process is I feel like there's been like generation after generation. If that doesn't make sense to you and you're still listening to me, relationship after relationship after relationship, okay? Where there just wasn't enough to make things feel stable. This could be a situation in which like circumstances of a family or circumstances of a relationship, meaning like literally being in poverty, being very poor, not having stability in terms of like housing, those things have been contributors to some of that negative, toxic, traumatic cycle that's been going on here. And once that's cleared, once that's cleared, that energy is cleared, this feels like it goes away as well, but it might be something that you have to still contend with in your own life. Meaning, once you do this healing, you still have to figure out, okay, well, I've healed the trauma. I've dealt with the things that I know I need to deal with. I've broken out of that pattern. But now I need to figure out how to actually improve my circumstances, because I'm no longer, like, the weight of those things is no longer holding me back. Now it's time for me to actually accept, like they're telling me, okay, hold on one second. Basically what it is this represents a challenge for you once you healed this, okay? So once you heal the trauma, once you heal, you kind of break yourself out of that, then the next thing that you have to realize is that the trauma and how you have felt about yourself as a result of that trauma, abuse, they're saying abuse, it's caused you to be in a situation where you feel like, I don't deserve, or I'm not worthy. Okay? When you heal that, when you remove yourself from that entanglement of all the low vibration energy, it opens up a place where you can finally realize, no, you know what, I am worthy, I am deserving, I am capable. The things that I want, I should be able to get them, I should be able to manifest them. And it kind of starts to shift you out of this Five of Pentacles energy, okay? Hopefully raising you up more into Six of Pentacles, Six of Coins type of energy. But just know, I'm glad the Six of Wands came out, because like I said, I just feel there's so much support. There's so much energy around just closing this out. It just keeps coming through so intensely to me. This notion of it's time for this. This is the final round, right? So let's pull an advice or guidance card for you. And then we will wrap this reading up. I'm going to do a cut. Take the card right there. So this says, my faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. You are the person to end this and to bring it to a close. And I hope that you feel kind of I'm going to switch you over, because I want to say this to your face. I hope, Taurus, that you understand that this wasn't happenstance. This wasn't something where batter up, it's your turn, let's see what you can do. You were chosen. You were chosen to be the person in this particular time period, in this place of this repeating pattern. You were the one that was chosen to be able to really heal this and to be able to manifest, being able to move on beyond it. And so in a way, it's kind of all eyes are on you, and not in a bad way. Everyone's watching, trying to figure out what it is that you need, what it is that you need them to support you with or to clarify. And all that you really have to do is ask for that. So lean in on your ancestors, lean in on your friends, lean in on your spiritual advisors, ask your spirit guides, your higher self, whatever works for you. Really allow those sources to give you guidance and insight. And good luck with this. It's going to take a little bit of effort. It's going to be a process, but there's so much potential. You're just right on the edge of being able to wrap this up. So thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for giving me a chance to deliver messages for you. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please take a moment to give the video a thumbs up. Leave a comment below for me. I love hearing from you guys. And if you're not subscribed, click the subscribe button. And I will be back with additional readings and other videos for you on the channel soon. I love you guys so much. Take care of yourselves. Bye.